Wouldn't it look cool if that thing was sitting up in the air that high? But it's not. Eventually maybe I'll get some shackles and lift her up a little bit higher, but I've discovered some frame issues underneath there, so I might not want to do that. Maybe I'll just go with new leaf springs and see if I can fix the frame, because it's starting to rust away, like me. So she's a running. Sounds pretty good. Got a little noise at the exhaust, but I knew that was going to happen on account of I hacksawed it off and just patched it back in. I'm going to get a couple miles under its belt and make sure it's something that I'm going to spend any more money on before I fix that, because that's a pretty expensive piece. But I'll replace it. She's got a little hesitation, but I'm letting it kind of sit here and get its wits about it. Just a little. I'm going to let it sit here and idle and get up the temperature. Make sure everything's kosher, nothing's leaking. None of the gauges work in the car, so I won't know if it's overheating until it starts smoking. Sounds pretty decent though. I don't hear any upper cylinder rattle or any valve train rattle. I don't hear nothing's knocking down in there. Apparently I did that right for the moment. Of course, a little bit of torque on that transmission and a few more miles and we'll see. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Listen to that thing. And I started up the Camaro, and when I moved it, I saw this. I knew I was going to have to fix it. It's a transmission fluid, rear seal on the tranny. Oh, on the transmission. And you hear how that Camaro sounds over there. And then hear how this little bird sounds. This thing, I've let it sit here and run for a while and do its thing. And it's, yeah, somewhere. I'm hoping it all seems like it's coming out of the oil filter side, so that's kind of what I'm pulling for. But for now, I'm gonna get the hood on this, put it where the Camaro usually sits, and then I can start doing something more fun, a little more user-friendly. Get this hog out of here. Look what it did to my floor. Yuck. So this is going to get parked over where the Camaro usually sits, and it can think about what it's done for a while, because I've got some stuff to do to the Camaro. So in order to park this outside, I need to put the hood back on. So I'm guessing I'm going to man up, and I'm thinking about manning up and see what I can do. It's always a fun task. Just keep in mind the windshield's already broke. So I've got the socket and the bolt in my pocket, because you never know what's going to happen. The other bolts are laying on the fender, waiting to be put in. And this is never a one-man job, because you can't see where you're going. We'll kind of set it down. Hopefully it's close. Yeah, kind of. Get that off of there, so scratch that up real bad. And get on there. Oh, that's weird. So yesterday I got the Grease Monster 6000, which ended up making me have to get a lot of stuff down on the ground to suck it all up. I got that thing out, and I brought the Camaro in because I've only got a couple of days. I'm going back to work full-time next week, so there's a couple things I wanted to do to the Camaro, which, not much. Well, fix that, but that's not happening right now. Oof. Excuse me. Back into that. I've got a leak in the transmission. So the output shaft on the transmission's leaking. So we're going to give that a shot. Let's see what 7/16 gets us. That's a little more like it. Not too tight. That's good. 7/16. There's 4 of them. Try to sock it. See how much I can do on that. Actually, I think I'll just crack these loose. Put the car in neutral. Oof! Son of a motherless goat! What the? There we go. I knew that wasn't so bad. It's just a matter of getting in a position that you can do it. Yeah. Yeah. In some instances, you can get a ratchet in there. Let's see. We'll turn that a little bit. That's where we want it. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, get back on there. I think maybe I'll do that. Because that's kind of tight. Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. Got one. I got one out. Kind of. Go on, get. Alright, there's one. One is out. Put that back on there. Put that on there. Take this and put it on here. Kind of that way. So that was not cooperating because of rust and stuff, but I finally grabbed a big bar and got it from the outside here on this corner. So I had to put the camera down to do it. That thing's pretty tight in there. But she's popped out now. I'll probably end up changing those U-joints. That's something I really don't want to do because of the clips and things and rust and stuff. And, you know, it's probably been in there since '78. So now that it's popped forward, excuse all the porcupine looking exhaust setup that I got going, but I can get my finger out of the way. I should be able to slide that out. Okay, so she went forward in there, no problem. I'm gonna get this to drop down. Come out. Will it come out through my exhaust? That is the question. This is gonna be fun to work on because I'm stupid. Look how bad that rust is just sitting. Cheap. Buy cheap stuff, you get cheap things. Let's see. All right, no fluid dumping out. That's good news. Set this guy down gently as can be. I gotta get it off it's hung up in the jack on the bottom. There it goes, nice and gentle. Yeah. So I need to get up in there and slice my hands apart on these and pull that old seal out and put in a new seal. We'll see what I can do. we'll seal. We'll seal what I can do. Just checking to make sure this isn't all scarred up, and taking a look at the U-joints, and man, they are tight. They actually, nice, good movement, no slap at all. That's a good thing, because I don't like changing the front ones. And I also want to double check and make sure that that's going to fit on there. It's not going to be too big, it's not going to be too small, it's going to be just right. And it is. That's huge, because you could get the wrong one and then it would leak worse than it was leaking before. Or it wouldn't go in at all. And while I'm here, I'm going to check the back ones. And there's really no slop in them. Turning pretty nice and easy. U-joints are good. I'm going to keep them for now. This thing's going to get a new transmission pretty soon, if it doesn't fall off the frame before that. So when I change the transmission, I will change the drive shaft, and I'll have to, because it'll probably be different. I think I'm going to go with a 700R. I need another gear because of that rear end on this guy. Just she doesn't want to go over 70 without trying to throw rods out of the engine because it's screaming. So the quality is probably pretty awful, but I had to zoom way in to be able to see past the exhaust and all that. Sorry. We'll see if I can get in there. Get that seal to start coming up without hitting my hand. Kind of got in there a little bit. There we go. Light is in the way. Light is the sun. Come on. Come on, man. Get in there. Give it a little crunchy. There it goes. Now it's starting to wiggle. There it is. Right in my forehead. Wow, it came right at you too, didn't it? Hit you in the camera. There it is. Get my wiper down and get all that out of there. Just a little bit of wiggle around in there, and that's fine. That's supposed to move. That ain't hurting nobody. Go back in. Don't get any goop on it. Don't get any dirt on it. I've got a little something on it on the sides. A little something on the back. That's the secret. Okay. Now, let's see if this socket will fit nicely. I don't have an installation tool. I think that might fit it. If I can get my hammer. You definitely want this to go on kind of straight. Ooh, ooh. Give her a little something to get her started. You want it going in square. And now, let's see if I can get this on here. Oh, the sun wasn't in my eyes again. After I pulled the old one out and it flew into the camera, things got weird. So it stopped recording when I put the new one in, but it was pretty difficult and stupid. So if you got a socket that's big enough to go around here, you can hit it in with a hammer, but all this stuff is in the way. So I had a hard time doing it, but I got it. I'm glad you didn't have to witness it. Just make sure it's good all the way around, nice and even, in flush. I'll put the drive shaft back in and fire this thing up. And then all of a sudden, some parts show up. For a brake job that I have to do next. So I'm gonna keep on going. Lots of stuff to do.